A small update on the LT4 wide body 69 Camaro today. I got my exhaust tubing in from Lyle's, really reasonable prices. I went with the 409 because I'm not worried about really salt or anything like that. The 409 stainless will hold up well enough, and it's a lot cheaper than the 3 Series. And I got 2 4-foot sticks of 3-inch, and I got 4 J-bends. That'll give me 2 45s for each side and 4 90s for each side, basically. Got both of the pans taken back out again, and I have the floor supports in now. Sorry, I got some of my tools in the way here. Got the floor supports now. I test fitted the convertible brace. It's just piled in here with all my scrap steel. Just little cutoffs and stuff until I finish the project. You never know what you're gonna need. But that goes basically from rocker to rocker up through the transmission tunnel, which I need to cut this section out of, obviously, because my transmission tunnel has a torque tube going through it now. I'll show in probably a few videos from now what I'm going to do with that, how that's going to work. It's going to involve using these. These are going to go down the edge of the floor here on each side where the extension is going to get added in. And then this plate, which I've already scribed, will get cut, and that's going to bolt to this flange. I'm going to weld some nuts onto this flange. I had to make it very small because the torque tube needs to fit out still. So it's going to bolt to this, and that will separate the exhaust. It'll be in here. So that will separate the exhaust heat from the torque tube there. And I got some 3-inch resonators. I forget how long maybe those are. I think they're 16-inch long from Lyle's also. I don't know that they're going to do a whole lot. I need to get a muffler in the back somewhere. But I'll have a 45 come across into this area and another 45 back. And then it'll make it up and over the axle there and then back down. I was gonna buy a tank from Rick's, but I honestly don't think I can make it work. I've been holding off until I get the pan swapped out, but I think I'm just gonna buy the kit that they have that gives you the tank section and a locking ring to fit a newer style pump assembly in it, because I do have a ZL1 pump assembly. I might just end up making my own stainless tank and installing that in it. So on the next video, I'm waiting for new toe boards. My support underneath is still solid. The toe boards here, this one's not too bad because someone had put a patch in it, and it's still good. This section here was a little bit rusty, so I had to cut that out. I think I'm going to cut this off around here somewhere so I can clean the support that's under here that bolts to the subframe on the front. I'd like to clean that off well and get it painted inside. The same goes for that side. You can see that side has rust. I've separated the floor pan from the support. So I'm going to cut that a few inches higher, and I'm going to clean and put some epoxy primer and some black paint on that. And then I can install the floor pans. And then whenever I get the toe board piece, I'll have to, I won't weld the floor pan to here, and then I can slip that in after and finish this joint up. Hopefully it won't take too long to get. Still have the firewall to do. But if I get this whole back section done and get my brace in here, which is going to hold the floor exactly where, the transmission tunnel exactly where I want it, and then I'll put the top back on, which I have saved from the old not from the old, sorry, from the new floor pan that I bought. That's my anvil hood. This one with the flat hood. I like the look of the flat hood. So there's the top of the old, well, I keep saying the old, that's the top of the new floor pan that I bought. I cut it off just past the radius, all the way down. So that should be able to go, this is going to be the wrong height obviously because the shifter is not in here. But that should be able to go back in like that. It'll be about 3 inches taller than that. Be up around here somewhere. And then I'll just have to fill in between here and where the floor comes up to, which is around here somewhere. It's about a 3 or 4 inch piece that I'm adding, so the transmission tunnel is 3 or 4 inches taller than it was originally, which should add a little bit of strength, being taller in here. Not a lot. The main thing is, once I get the floor pan in, before I put the seat brace here, I'm going to install that convertible brace. I need to take a section out of it, but I'll weld it to the outer rocker here. I'll weld it to this frame rail connector, the subframe connector, and then I'll weld it from here. It'll come across, it'll poke up into the transmission tunnel, and it will attach to that rail that I'm going to put the divider here in, and then I'll put some heat reflective material on the bottom of that to keep the heat down. And then where this piece comes across, there's another section that comes to the back. I'll show that in a later video, so that you can bolt a panel across. The 67, 68, and 69 convertibles all had a little panel that bolted about here and back here somewhere. And it has a little relief cut in it so that the drive shaft can come up and down. I don't need that obviously, so I'll probably just end up making my own plate. I have the Camaro plate, but I think what I'll do is I'll use the front mount, the back mount. I've put this tube in and left it long. My plan here was to, once I cut this, is to weld a nut into the bottom there so that I can continue that pan all the way back to here, because this gets tied into the subframe connector and into the rocker with this piece, which is also the convertible piece. The coupes didn't have these. So this one needs to get cut, but basically it's going to get cut over there so it can weld into this transmission cover. But it goes right onto the floor pan and straight across. It'll get welded to the subframe connector, to the outer rocker, and to that center section, which will then be connected right to that panel that goes across the transmission tunnel. So it'll really strengthen this section up, so it doesn't, basically, so the transmission tunnel doesn't have a big hole down the center. It connects the floor pan all the way across. So I know it's still not going to be anywhere near as stiff as a C6 Corvette, but it's going to be a lot better than a 69 Camaro was. So hopefully in the next video I'll have these two tool boards cut back so I can put these floor pans back in, at least get them tacked. I won't finish weld anything until I sort out the center here in case I need to take them back out again, but I'll get them tacked in place. I'll probably make a mock-up of that pattern out of a piece of, I have some Baltic birch plywood that I can make it out of, and then I can actually install that in place, put some screws through into the plywood at the height that I want, and then I can drop the other panel down on top of it and clamp it, and that'll hold it exactly where I need it, and I'll make sure that that's level front to back, and then I have the proper spacing, and then I'll get this welded in, get the transmission or transmission tunnel affixed up through here, get the top on, and then I'll work on the convertible brace here, convertible brace in the back, and then the floor covering, and then, you know, the exhaust. I'll roughly route the exhaust back and up just to make sure that while I'm doing the floor pan, if I need to make any clearances, I can do that as I'm doing it. So, see you in the next video.